What's up, model building fans? Hey, it's Brian, and we're doing an update on the Big Rig. That's right, we're working with the AMT Peterbuilt. It is the Peterbuilt 359 series, and the box lid is monstrosity in its own right. There we go. There's a 359 and the word Peterbuilt, so we know that we're talking about the right thing. Let's see. So we have our frame. It is fully assembled and painted. And it's right here. It's hard to get on the screen because it's so big. Make your jokes as you will. But yeah, we decided to go ahead and fully assemble this as much as we can. And then go back and hit the whole thing with, to me, a red oxide primer. Because we were thinking that if we go to put our color code on, which is the black of course, if we're a little bit thin or we've missed a spot or two, that'll show up as, I don't know, maybe a little bit of rust staining or something like that. And I think it's looking really good. There is a few little spots here and there where the black paint's a little thin. I'm having a hard time finding a spot right now, of course. I painted it too good. But yeah, it's gonna look amazingly better than I thought it would, so that's great. But I do want to redo our airbags with a rubber black, make it a little bit more rubber looking, I guess. But yeah, I decided to leave the air tanks just, you know, black. I thought that would be fine. I didn't think anybody's going to complain about that. Oh, here's some rust up here on the steering gear box. But yeah. Oh, speaking of brake cylinders, I wanted to say thank you to the community for all the positive feedback and coaching that you guys have shared with this particular build, because there are a lot of you out there that are truck drivers, of course, and know a bit or two about these guys. And thank you for the advice about the front brake canisters as well as the rear brake canisters. We moved those a little more inboard. They are supposed to be attached to the axle, but I didn't care anymore. I stopped caring about halfway through that, so I just stuck them to the spring area there. I really hope that we can pull that off. This is going to be on the shelf. I don't think anybody's going to be really that big of a deal about it or anything. So we do still have, it is a little bit tippy, but we did do some shimming and stuff when we were setting everything up so that all the wheels will be on the ground, so at least we got that going. The engine, boy, is that dirty. That's actually a little too dirty. I wanted it to be more like our fan, and I don't know what happened. But we went a little gonzo with the grime wash. So we're going to be taking that back a notch there. We're going to be bringing that back a little bit. It doesn't have to be this dirty. And I haven't done my belts and stuff yet because I knew I was going to be pulling some of that back off there, and I didn't want to have to redo my belts again. So there we go, we got that going on. Our interior is pretty basic. I do need to do some more work on the instrument panel, of course. We've got our seats glued together, but not actually glued in, because I do have to do a little touch up on the paint job for the carpeting on the floor there. And then I need to do something with these door cards. There's not much going on there either, so we'll do the best we can with that. We did strip off a lot of chrome. As a matter of fact, the only two things on the truck that will be actual kit chrome is the front bumper over here, and the grill, which is over here. And I've done our first coat of darkening on there for the grill, and we need to work on that some more. But yeah, we pulled the chrome off of everything else, and I do need to do my straps and my frame supports for the fuel tanks and get those taken care of. I do need to repaint one of these guys because it still had some moisture left inside there, and it leaked out while it was drying. So yeah, this is the one here on that end, and then on this end did some weird thing too. So we'll get that sorted out. But at least we don't have to pull parts back off the frame and glue them back on again. That was pretty much the story of the first part of this project. Here is one of our stacks. We've got the handle on there. We're going to go back and do a little bit of wash on the grill here to help bring that out a little bit. And then our horn trumpets, we did drill them out a little bit, not too much, because we were getting pretty thin in there. So we're going to finish up those, paint them black on the inside a little bit, and carry it on. And then here's our hood and fender assembly, and then our cab. Now, of course, we're using camel yellow because this is part of the Universal Construction Vehicles series. The only one I'm probably going to do this year. Thank the gods. But we did have a problem. We were running out of the yellow paint, and there is a little bit of tone variation going on here from the hood to the top of the fenders, and from the hood to the actual cab itself. And as we carry that onto the sleeper box, can we get all three of these here together? Our sleeper, there's a lot of fading going on, so I need to even all that out. I'm out of paint, and my local guy is closed until, I'm hoping this Friday he might be open back up again, this coming Friday. So we'll see how that goes. There is another guy on the other side of town that says that he's doing curbside pickup stuff, which is really cool. But my local guy is literally up the street from us, and I like giving him as much business as I can because he is a super small time deal, and we do appreciate what he does for us, as well as the fact that he's a small business. So our axles, we have our wheels and tires on there already, and we dirtied these up with pastel chalk, which actually polished a little bit, which is really cool. So it gives it sort of a sun-worn sheen to the tires. I really like how that looks. We need to dirty up the axles a little bit, and then we'll be able to mount those to the frame. And then I think if we do that, aside from the battery box, the frame will be done and ready to go. Here's our front wheels. Again, did that artist chalk on there. I like how that looks. And then, our hitch plate. We did Tamiya panel liner gray accent color. Okay, so we did an overall wash of that, and then swabbed it down with a Q-tip to take off the excess, and then a very light dabbing of this stuff here, the panel liner accent color brown, which gives us a really nice rusty look. And I know our buddy Dylan had come up with some sort of witch's brew concoction for making his look greasy, because he actually used real grease. But I think we're going to try this guy here, the Tulip Slick. This is a fabric paint. It's a dimensional fabric paint, so it's puffy kind of like. And this is a nice old trick for filling little bits of seams and gaps and stuff like that, and holes. The thing is that it does shrink a little bit, so you have to keep an eye on it. Make sure you might even have to do a second or third application, but it's not something you can sand because it has almost like a rubber type of, like a caulking type of texture is the best way to say it. But while it's still wet, you can, what I like to do is wet a Q-tip and just go over the surface and take off the excess and just leave it, let it dry. Usually overnight will be just fine. And it's great for doing some seam work and stuff like that. It's not the best trick in the world. I mean, nothing will be better than having to use putty and fill, or maybe some styrene rod to fill, but in a pinch, this works out pretty well, and it stands up okay to Tamiya paints, so I like that. Anything hotter than Tamiya paints, like maybe a splash paint, or who's that other guy, Scale Finishes, I guess is his name. Anything with that nature might bug that stuff. I'm not quite sure, but if you're willing to do an experiment, let us know. We'll be happy to pass that on. So yeah, we're running out of steam here. It's been a long day already. I got to go do yard work, which I'm not happy about because it is only 11:15, and it's 95 degrees outside in the shade, so I'm not happy about that. All right, guys, I'll let you all go. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you a little bit later on. Thanks. Bye.